Okay, let's just get into it. Then Jacob continued on his journey and came to the land of the eastern peoples. There he saw a well in the field with 3 flocks of sheep lying near it because the flocks were watered from the well. Because that's where they get the water, not because they already were watered. Probably there is going to be someone trying to bring up that's a contradiction. And if you're not, don't worry. It's things pop into my head sometimes. It's like, could there be? Well, there's over like 7 billion people on this planet, probably. And with some of the contradictions I see, yeah. The stone over the mouth of the well was large. Why would you want to put stone over it? For protection, so people don't fall into it. So sheep, which are pretty stupid, won't fall into it. And yes, sheep are dumb. So it doesn't dry up in the hot desert. People who shouldn't be getting water from it can't. A lot of other reasons. There's numerous of reasons. When all the flocks gathered there, the shepherds would roll the stone away from the well's mouth, and water the sheep. They probably had some like treaty. Either that or it was big enough where it's like it was hard for one of them just to move it, or probably the treaty like we should all share this well, because if we don't, we'd probably just be killing each other. Probably were killing each other, then came like, we should not do this. We can come up with a treaty where we wait for everyone to come to the well and remove the stone. Maybe that's another reason the stone's there. To keep people from fighting over the well and keep people reliant in remembering the treaty, so one of them can't just rule over the others, or there won't be fights. Then they would return the stone to its place over the mouth of the well. Well, why keep the treaty? Because they all benefit. And there will be not much benefit from not keeping the treaty, and all sorts of reasons. Can I name every single action every human being has done? No. Or a reason behind it? No. But just a treaty. And if you break treaties back then, you were a whole lot more in trouble than if you broke treaties. Now, it's not only were you in trouble with humans, you were in trouble with the gods. And therefore, you were extra doomed. Jacob asked the shepherds, "My brothers, where are you from?" "We're from Haran," they replied. He said to them, "Do you know Laban, Nahor's grandson?" "Yes, we know him," they answered. Just small talk. Then Jacob asked them, "Is he well?" "Yes, he is," they said. "And here comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep." "Look," he said, "the sun is still high in the high. It is not time for the flocks to be gathered. Water the sheep and take them back to the pasture." So he's like, this is not how we do it back here. Here we wait for like the cool of like probably evening or something. Probably once in the morning, once at night. So he's probably like, these are, of course, our cultural conditions. Why aren't they theirs? Because he grew up around that. And back then you wouldn't know what other people were doing because they were miles and miles away from you and there was no internet. We can't, they replied, until all the flocks are gathered and the stone has been rolled away from the mouth of the well. Then we will water the sheep. Also, probably that treaty. Which most likely exists. You can infer it from the text. Probably would have, like, anyone who does this should be punished by death or something. If it was a treaty, or the stone was too heavy. While he was still talking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. Yes. Rachel takes care of sheep. Yeah, in a lot of cultures it was perfectly fine for women to do it. Some cultures it was only the women who do it. Get water. Yes. When Jacob saw Rachel, daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, Laban's sheep, he went over and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered his uncle's sheep. In other words, he saw a cute girl, a girl he was attracted to, and moved big gigantic rock. And started watering his sheep. Can you imagine Rachel? Just like this stranger just looks at you and looks at your sheep. Moves big rock from one place to the other. Start watering giving your sheep water. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and began to weep aloud. And then he goes over to kisses you. He does. And then he starts crying. And you're just like, who is this guy? What's wrong with him? Or maybe they went in that culture and like, it's just, who knows? Yeah. He had told Rachel that he was a relative of her father, a son of Rebecca. So she ran and told her father, and like, oh wait, I know him. He's family. Okay, good. He's not some crazy homeless person. Yeah, there were intermarital family marriage. Back then, there were a lot less people on Earth. Funny, people say, royals are inbred. Ha ha ha. You're all inbred. We're all inbred. Like, seriously, just go back to Europe. Alone Europe in the Middle Ages. People never left their towns all that much. You were marrying your cousin. Especially back when there were like only a few thousand people on Earth. That happened all the time. So, yeah, if you're doing tech or monarchy because they're inbred, so are you. The monarchies usually have more, but no, you shouldn't. A temporary thing got allowed before, just to get things off the ground. You know, slowly, it's like a drug, slowly getting them off thing. Anyway. As soon as Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he hurried to meet him. He embraced him and kissed him. Yes, kissed him, because that was a type of greeting. So if you thought, like, this is creepy, Jacob grabbed Rachel and kissed her on the lips. No, he probably just gave her a little, like, peck on the cheek, or a side thing, like they do in France. And it was just how they greeted each other. Nothing sexual about it at all. And brought him to his home, and there Jacob told him all these things. All what things? That's pretty obvious. Just what happened in Genesis 29 so far. Probably about Esau. And how he got his blessing and stuff. Then Laban said to him, "You are my own flesh and blood." So I hope you start thinking about. Oh yes, you can infer things from the text. There's there might have been a treaty, might not. The Bible doesn't say there is, but could it infer it? Yes. Thinking, well, what's the reason for this? Why does it say this? And I don't know, other things. Just get you thinking about the Bible. So anyway, next time Jacob is going to get married. Yes. Things are moving fastly. Well, sort of fastly. There's still like days or months ago, probably some cases just weeks going by, but it's just like consolidated because no one wants to. It's like, and this day Jacob looked for berries, ate some berries, used the bathroom, wandered around, went further north, went to sleep, repeat. So yes, he's summarized, or, well, because, yeah, you do that with history. Anyway, yeah, that's what's next. Jacob gets married next Saturday.